Da-da. Okay. Wow. Thank you, internet person. Thanks, chat, as the streamers say, for saving me from talking about proctotrupomorphs for half an hour with my microphone off. That would have been a nightmare. But we have luckily avoided that nightmare, and can continue looking at proctotrupomorphs. I have no idea if. Well, okay. On the one hand, I have no idea how long it's been cut out for, so maybe nothing I said mattered. On the other hand, I was kind of just rambling about proctotrupomorphs. Suffice it to say, we can name our shinks, which is pretty cool. I'll turn all these off again. Whoops. Boop. There we go. We can name our shrinks. And the shrinks' name is Procto. We'll call him Procto. That'll be, we'll call him Proctotrup. We'll call him Proctotrup. That's a good name. Okay. Cool. So, we now have 3 Pokemon. Hymenoptera, Apocrita, and Proctotrup. And we can heal up. And then the actual game will start. And I'll try not to just immediately lose all these Pokemon that we've painstakingly named. Let me also quickly grey these out, because we don't have any of these yet, so we don't have to. Well, we can get some more free early game Pokemon by IDing this Diapriid, which is nice, because if we run out of Wasps, then we're going to run out of Pokemon, and that could lead to trouble, because we may team wipe. This is a new Pokemon as well. See who we get. A Tympole. I mean, I'm pretty happy with this selection. Not too much type overlap. I presume Tympole is absolutely terrible in stats until it evolves. But we'll check out. Oh. Ha. Flower Veil. Yes, if you're... am I going to kill it? Let's just chuck a few more balls at it, shall we? I don't want to accidentally kill it and then lose the encounter. And I also don't want it to accidentally, like, knock out my Zorua or something. That would be a tragic turn of events. Good job, Hymenoptera. You're very powerful. Okay. And here we are at Tympole. Before I do the ID, I want to check the docs. I closed the docs. Where are the docs? Here. Here are the docs. Pokemon changes. Ta-da. For Tympole. See if Tympole got any buffs or new moves. Because Seismitoad... Well, Seismitoad, I haven't used too much in Nuzlocke. I imagine it's decent, because Water Ground is good typing, and Water Absorb is good. I'm sure you can achieve some AI. Seismitoad can now learn Sucker Punch. And it's got plus 10 to both offenses. That's nice. That's perfectly reasonable. I'll accept it. Mega Audino got a massive buff. Look at this. Fairy Aura and 40 base special attack. We don't have an Audino. They buffed Levani. Levani's like my favorite Pokemon for some reason. If we get a Sewaddle, I'm going to be so overjoyed. And then it's going to die instantly, because Bug Grass is horrendous. It's like the worst thing anyone has ever seen. But we don't have to worry about that, because we don't have a Sewaddle. We do have a Seismitoad. And let's have a look, while we're at it, at Tympole stats. This is going to just... I mean, I can milk kind of infinite content out of this, because it's going to take forever for anything to happen in this format. Tympole stats. There we go. It's got... I don't know, I guess 50 is like... 50 for a basic is like 100 for a final evolution. So 50 is like the benchmark for good. 40 in both defenses is pretty squishy. The reason I think that is because if we look at Chikorita, it's kind of the opposite. It's like just under 50 on the offenses and speed, but 65 on the bulk. Whereas with Tympole, it's got 50 in the offenses, about average, worse than average bulk, and then it's decently fast. I wouldn't have pegged it as such a fast little guy, but it's nice to see that he's fast, because he's a tadpole. He's kind of ugly, but it's not his fault. Anyway, we have to name him, which means we have to ID a wasp. But I'm prepared for this, because not only do I think this guy is a proctotrupomorph, I think he belongs in the superfamily Diaprioidea, which is a mouthful. So we're going to take him down to the... Do I have a slide for the Diaprioidea? No, we'll have to make a slide. That's exciting. Surely I have a... Okay, I've got... So this table is the taxonomy of the Diaprioidea. You can see we have 4 families, but these ones are all of these ones are very, very uncommon. The Ismaridae, the Marmingidae, and the Monomarchidae are very, very uncommon. The most of what we find is going to be in the family Diaprioidae. And then there are 3 subfamilies, and then there are all these tribes and genera, and then species. But these little pink, purple ones are all the genera that we might find. So we're getting pretty specific. If we can ID these guys to genera, we'll be pretty happy. Superfamily is enough for now, though. I already duplicated that. So we're going to make this one can be the Diaprioidea, and we'll grab some of the associated bits. Grab the stuff from the Ichneumonidae. You guys can move over here. This is the kind of riveting content that I can bring to you live. You thought that, like decently edited, scripted 3-minute guides about how to use Pokemon was good? Well, watch me fool around in PowerPoint for half an hour, trying to name the Diaprioidea, and then you'll know heaven. There are 4 children, but for the sake of doing a Pokemon battle sometime in my life, we'll just leave them as Ichneumonidae and Braconidae for now. Don't need those. And no, wait, did I kill our wasp? Because whoops, I Control X'd it and then I Control X something else. It's okay. I have all the photos. Where have you gone? You are into a north, right, 1. Nope. 1. Cool. So here's our wasp, and we're taking him down from the proctotrupomorphs to the diaprioids. So we can... Shinx, wait. Your hitbox is far too large for your tiny little body. If you hit Shinx with like an aerial attack here, he's still going to get hit even though he's all the way down here. It's one of the tragic features of being a Shinx. Diaprioidea, we want that color. Nice. And this time I'll actually paste him. Here we go. And to ID this, we don't want the head shelf. So this guy does have a head shelf, but the head shelf is actually a feature of the Diaprioidae, the family, not the Diaprioidea, because the Ismaridae are also in the Diaprioidea, and the Ismaridae don't have the head shelf. So what we're going to do is say head shelf if diaprioid, otherwise it's an Ismarid and it's weird, and we'll deal with that if, God forbid, it ever comes up. We don't have Ismarids in my country, so if we find an Ismarid, we'll have to call biocontrol and tell them that we've got an incursion, which would be unfortunate if we had some incurring Ismarids. But I don't think we've got any incurring Ismarids. I'm pretty sure I haven't found any so far. It'd be interesting if we did, though. So, you're a diaprioid, and that means these should be grayed out. Presumably, eventually, we'll get to a point where I actually have the slides ready. But part of the game at the moment is going to be making PowerPoint slides, which is thrilling. I know, it's kind of the most thrilling of all content types. What is he? He's a Timpole. Is Timpole in Gen 9? I remember seeing a Seismitoad. Maybe he's not. Gen 9, if I make a Gen 9 on your team. If I take off Dragapult from this team and try to put on Timpole. No, he's not. He's not in Gen 9. Timpole did not make it through the border. Poor Timpole. That means I have to download his sprite. Which is wonderful. You guys can watch me download a sprite. What's that? That's not doing what I think it wants to be doing. Ah, I know why that's doing that. It's because I want to do this, really, don't I? And then do this. Haha. There we go. And we can find Timpole. And here he is. The home menu sprites are so amazing. I feel like my YouTube career, such as it is inspired mainly by how much I think the home menu sprites are just wonderful in Gen 9. Gen 8, a bit of a miss, I reckon. Like Sword and Shield is kind of a bad game. You're playing it for like the competitive and for the online, and it's good. But like, I feel like if I had to replay that game, it would be like trying to eat chalk. You know how that's like dragging chalk across a blackboard is like painful? Imagine trying to eat chalk, like just like chomping down a stick of chalk. That's kind of how I would feel if I had to replay, because there's so much dialogue, and you just walk in a straight line until you win the game. When I got Gen 8, I didn't have a Switch when it came out, and I didn't get one for a couple of years. When I finally got it, I just wanted to play competitive, so I just moved in a Rayquaza from home and walked through the game, which may have contributed to my general boredom. But if it wanted me to take it seriously, then it should have been more interesting as a gen. Anyway, Scarlet and Violet comes out Gen 9, and they've got a lot to come back from. But I think they pulled it off with aplomb. As they say. Aplomb's a word, right? That's how you use aplomb. Oh, Jonathan. Hi, welcome. Welcome. True. The Diamond and Pearl remakes are kind of Gen 8. You're right. They're like the good positive version of Gen 8. Because Gen 4 is good. Although having said that, I don't know if you should be seeing my stream key. It's privated. I'm sure it's fine. Here's the Diaprioids. We're all good. Diamond and Pearl were good. Diamond and Pearl were my childhood, so it was nice. I also enjoyed getting the gift Jirachi in those games, because I called it One Flinimini, and I felt like my Pokemon nicknaming really peaked with One Flinimini. It was the greatest choice. Okay, so here's Timpole, right? Timpole is our representative of the Diaprioids. And so we can come to Timpole in Pokemon. Timpole, yes. And he's going to be Diaprioid. Welcome to the team. Oh, maybe I need like a Wasp. Do I need like a Wasp cam? I've spent enough time messing around with settings. I won't do that now. But I could put a little Wasp cam up there, because there's some blank space, right? It could be like, here's the most recent Wasp. I can surely do that now, right? Can I do? Why don't I just do it the easy way, like this? Oh my god, here he is. Hi, I'm the Diaprioid, and I'm going to be playing Pokemon now. Henry is dead, and he's been replaced by me, the Diaprioid. And I'm gonna should probably level up his Pokemon a bit, because they are really bad and stuff. Now, this game has an interesting... also, before I forget, I should go into set mode. I'm on set, okay. This game has an interesting feature where the levels of the wild Pokemon scale with the average level of your team. So as long as I bring Hymenoptera into battle, the enemy's levels are going to be higher, but I'll have Hymenoptera. I think that's a worthwhile thing. It means I'll have to switch into Hymenoptera, but I don't want to, like, not bring Hymenoptera and then find myself getting murdered by... Can Shinx do anything? No. We should... I've played enough Pokemon. I've played Pokemon for over a decade to know that Shinx doesn't ever do anything. Poor guy. When you get a Shinx in Diamond and Pearl, speaking of the Diamond and Pearl remakes, you get a Shinx in... It's Swaddle, but I didn't get it. But look at him. Look at that beautiful mug. Actually, it beats my whole team, so... Oh, right, I'm a Zorua. I was like, why do I have a level 2 Chikorita? I'm a Zorua. How do I deal with this, I guess? With a Swaddle. It's kind of a problem. I'm just going to run away. I'm too scared of Swaddle. That's a demonstration of the sheer power that Swaddle brings to the table. It's a truly demonic force of nature. And we have to run from it. And we will continue to run from it until we get something that isn't weak to bug or grass. Which we don't have currently. I mean, Shinx is okay. It's not weak to them, but Shinx, as said before, sucks. Which sucks because you play Diamond and Pearl and you're like, oh, look at this cool Shinx. This is my favorite Pokemon from the first few routes. And then it doesn't get sparked till level 10, and you're sitting there like clicking tackle, thinking, when am I going to get Electric Stab on my Shinx so I can hit something? And then you finally get Spark, and then you find out that the first gym's a Rock-type gym, but, you know, whenever there's a Rock-type gym, it's also a Ground-type gym, so... Shinx isn't helpful. And then, does it ever become helpful? I'm running from Pseudots because they have Bide, and I don't have the mental capacity to handle Bide. No, you require too much forethought. That's what I'm talking about. Joke's on you. I wasn't a Hymenoptera. I was an Apocryta all along. You fool. You absolute buffoon of a Lotad. Okay, I've learned Pursue. Now, the other problem, well, the other interesting thing, is that enemy teams will scale to the level of the highest Pokemon on my team. So we're going to need a lot of drugs. No, not in that way. We're going to need to make sure that we don't have really unbalanced levels, because we'll end up fighting like if I went to battle now, the enemies would have... I think these early game routes are like your level -3 or something, so it won't be that hard. But in general, we might fight level 8 trainers, and we'd have these level 3 guys who are useless. I know that like the standard practice for... Surskit's here. That's cute. Oh, I've actually got a usable move. Standard practice for Nuzlocke these days is... Okay, I lied. That did no damage. Come on, Proctotrop. You can do it. Okay. Don't do it. Okay. And that is evidence to the thought that I was halfway through. I know that the standard practice is rare candies, but I think that, one, the grinding's kind of therapeutic, and this, if anything, is my therapy at the moment. 2, a lot can happen while you're grinding. Like, grinding is part of the challenge. It weakens you mentally. It starts to wear you down. Your mind slowly decays. And there's just so much that can go wrong. There can be deaths, there can be failings, you can consume items you didn't want to consume. I think that maybe it's bad for the viewing experience, but it's good for the psychological degradation that we're after. Oh, we got theta. Now, oh, we're going to run away from that because we procced competitive. This is a bit rough. Maybe we want to level up here. Now, I do concede that if you are okay, well, can we maybe not do so many bug types? If you're a viewer and you're thinking, okay, it's got a ground type move. I probably should have known that. Wait. Am I? Okay. I'm not a ground type yet, so I am weak to electric. I should just cut the middleman and use hymenoptera and take it. Yeah. So I'm gonna be grinding, even though maybe it's unpleasant. Synthesis. That's phenomenal. So no potions in battle. So healing moves are lovely. Do I get rid of tackle? I think so. I think we can just stall with growl, poison powder, and synthesis. I think that's the play. Well, Meganium's already finding its true home is just like an annoying wall that doesn't do anything. Just like it's always been destined to be. That's looking a bit better. Should we try a trainer? Or should we not try a trainer and level up to... We should level up a bit more. I'm a bit afraid. That's got bide. No. No, I'm too scared of Cricketot. Okay, Shinx does nothing. We can take a Shinx. We can take a Shinx. We can take a Shinx. Huzzah. It's nice to see Pursuit again. Pursuit. The loss of Pursuit is and will remain rather sad. Not that I played, I played Oras. Oras was kind of my first gen that I actually played. And there was Pursuit in Oras. And there was Pursuit in Gen 7 too. It was Gen 8 that they removed it, yes. That's a fairy type. Which beats me, because I'm a dark type. So, yeah, I have played with Pursuit. But I was not very good back then. And I thought Pursuit was bad, because I was like, it's only 40 base power, isn't that terrible? Why would anyone use Pursuit? And that's kind of true in games, because the enemy doesn't switch. But, certainly not true in competitive. Okay, once I've killed the Snubble, we're going to go fight a trainer. We're gonna be brave. And see if we can do it. Because we've got to make progress. We've got to progress in the Wasplocke. I cannot say no to youngster Calvin. And he's got a level 7 pooch. Now, immediately the game is afoot. We can attack it. What will happen, as always, is it will howl, and then I'll think, I'm going to lose to Pooch Hyena, because it's the craziest Pokemon, and then it'll hit me and do 3 damage, because it kind of sucks. I don't know if this is actually stronger, but may as well. Okay, there we go. You got to break into it. I should probably stop being a wasp, shouldn't I? Here we go. I should probably check chat. Chat, how are you doing? How are you doing, Jonathan? Oh, yes, of course. I can explain the concept of this to you, Jonathan. I wonder if I can... I'll explain the concept of this to you once I have defeated this enemy. Oh, coding things. Very good. That's excellent. Who would have thought that the way for me to actually open communication was to start being a streamer? I'm glad work's going well. Wonderful. You're moving up the ladder. I had to explain to someone how to use the printers yesterday. I felt like I was pretty professional because I knew how to use the printers, and they didn't. And I was like, yes, let me show you. Why is this like this? The Masters is going great. This is... Whoa. I swear this little border fit my camera before. Maybe I had it cropped. Like that. We'll go with that. Yeah, this is the Masters. I'm studying, as you can tell, I'm studying right now by playing Pokemon. No, I'm taking the day off work because my legs were so tired I couldn't walk yesterday afternoon, and I thought, can I take this? It's got Stab Tackle. It's got Stab Tackle, which is a terrifying thought. So I thought, let's test out my concept. The general idea is I have a bunch of these wasps to identify, and I thought, what better way? We're okay. What better way to learn the names of all these wasps than to tie the ID to the most high stakes type of content? Am I safe? Chikorita's not safe. Shinx is probably safe. Intimidate. Oh, Intimidate's actually really good. Is to tie the Nuzlocke to the wasps, because the Nuzlocke's high stakes. If I mess something up, I will lose. And if I ID one of these wasps wrong, I have to forfeit the Pokemon. So that's no good. Nuzlocke Rules just means I only get one Pokemon per place, and that Pokemon... Oh, what the heck is this? An Apom. That sounds a bit strong. I only get one Pokemon per place, and it's random. I don't choose what it is, and if it dies, it dies forever, and I've got to try to win. But this is like a fan game, so it's harder than normal. I don't want to fight you yet. But the catch is, in order to put a Pokemon on my team, I have to ID it to a new taxonomic level. So my Chikorita was my starter, and it's Hymenoptera. So any photo of a Wasp is going to get you to Hymenoptera. If it's a Wasp, then it is. But I can't repeat Hymenoptera, so I have to go lower. And the more Pokemon I catch, the more specific I'm going to have to be. And eventually, I'm going to figure out exactly what all the Wasps are. If I team wipe, I have to restart the whole game. But, I mean, we'll get there when we get there. I don't have to restart. I could also stop streaming forever. That's a plausible. Oh, hi. Oh, gosh. Okay, well, cutscene time. We can skip through this. Plausible scenario. So, I wanted to catch another Pokemon. How many layers are? There are 8 or 9. When you finish this cutscene, I can go to a new route and catch a new Pokemon, or I can use a fishing rod in the water and show you in the flesh. Yeah, I would watch Wasp plays Pokemon. Like, I feel like Wasps would be quite good at... Sorry, I'm reading the chat from ages ago. Wasps would be quite good at playing Pokemon. They would be, like, really merciless. They would probably be quite good at a Nuzlocke, because one of the problems with a Nuzlocke is you get attached, and then you make bad decisions because you don't want your friends to die. So you, like... So... No, it doesn't, because I've got lots of photos, and I don't have to just do one Wasp. So I could do lots of Wasps to shallow layers, or a few Wasps really deep. Both would be acceptable. But as you'll see, it gets pretty hard pretty quick, and there aren't that many different options in the first few layers. So we're gonna run out of those. For now, we're safe. We can probably get another 10 Wasps, 10 Pokemon, nice and easy. After that, we'll see. But that's the point. Oh my god. Scott, leave me alone. Okay, here's a new route. So we get to catch this. Yes, it's a Azurill. That, yeah, it is more interesting than flashcards, isn't it? I figure, and making it live, like this, I'm just upping the ante as much as possible. Like, I'm going to fail on camera if I fail, and everyone's going to see my shame. I... Oh, that was a bit risky, but we're fine. I thrive on stress. Yeah, that's right. You'll say, Henry, how could you mis-ID the Wasp and let your Shinx die? Well, I'm pretty confident about this first one. It's nice and easy. Okay, so we have an Azurill, and we're going to get to name it, which means we got to go back into PowerPoint. Now, there's a few different options. So we could bring this one down lower because there are 4 children. But I'll do like a little general recap. So here is the site we're doing, N2A. There's lots of sites, but N2A is the only one that I've done every single trap from. I've been just choosing randomly, and it happens that I picked all 8 N2A traps, and each of these white boxes represents an individual wasp that I have photographed. And we can pick one and fill it in and see what it is. Now, this one we know is in the Diaprioidea. We got it down past the Apocrypha. So, what we can do is either jump to this one or go to a new one. So let's open up a second wasp. This is N2A North Right 2. And there it is. Now I showed this earlier. I also know where this one is, loosely. So we'll be able to get 3 or 4 Pokemon out of this one. I don't know what genus it is, but I'm pretty sure it's a Calcid. So what we would do is we take this, put it into Hymenoptera, and then children are where it can go. So we could either go to Apocrypha, which we've done, it's coloured, or Symphyta, which is uncoloured. Symphyta are the sawflies. I don't think we're going to see any sawflies, but we might. We do have them in New Zealand. If we go into the Apocrypha, we have eight possible children, and the overarching structure looks like this. So, order Hymenoptera, suborder, let me delete this, suborder Apocrypha or Symphyta, infraorder Aculeata or Proctotrupomorpha, and then there are 22 subfamilies in all. So if we can get under just subfamily level, we can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 22, 27 Pokemon. So that's pretty good. If we want to go lower, if we want to go to family level, well, here are all the families. They're all, I haven't actually filled them in, they just say Seraphinidae, but each one of these boxes is a family. So, I mean, there's heaps, right? A lot of them we're not going to find. Some of the super families we're not even going to find. Like these guys, don't have them in New Zealand. But a lot of these guys we won't find too. You can see that the Chalcidoids, there are 41 families. Now, this guy is one of these 41 families, but I have no idea which one. I just know that he's in the Chalcidoidea. Beyond that, it's anyone's guess. But that's okay. We can get Chalcidoidea out of him. So, if we jump back, we have this guy, Apocrypha. He's a Proctotrupomorph too. The Chalcidoidea are also within the Proctotrupomorphs. When we get here, when you see that we've got the Diaprioidea, but we don't have the Chalcidoidea. So, let's fill it. Now, I should probably do a double take, because am I that confident it's a Chalcidoid? I'm confident it's a Proctotrupomorph, but it doesn't... Could it be a Cynipoid? I don't think it's a Platygastroid or a Proctotrupoid. What does a Cynipoid look like? Let me double check. How do I know? I have some books of keys, and I have some apps that will take a guess. Beyond that, I'm on my own, so I may ID it wrong and never know that I got it wrong. But in theory, I'll find out I got it wrong when I have to, like, compare them to the specimens at Landcare or something. Like, compare them to a live wasp, and I'm like, hang on, that's not actually a Calcid. Cynipoid. I wanted to look up Cynipoid. Cynipoid. Oh, I can probably bring that up actually as a tab, can't I? Cynipoid. Shoop. If we go to iNaturalist. Cynipoidia. Gall wasps. Do we think he has any shot of being a gall wasp? So the upside is that there are like lots of photos online we can look at, kind of scroll through and see. Oh, it does seem possible, doesn't it? Like a lacewing parasitoid? Could he be a lacewing parasitoid? Can we rule out that he's a lacewing parasitoid? You know, I don't reckon we can. I'm going to leave him in Proctotrupomorph for now. We don't have to ID him further. We've got lots of more photos we can look at. I'm just going to leave him in the Proctotrupomorph. What I can do to name this Pokemon, though, is come to the Diaprioidea and put this guy. There are 4, but they're not named. Named these names in the Diaprioidae. Now, I have an advantage in this one because this guy is pretty distinct. You can see he's got these crazy... I say he because we know it's male, because the females don't have this. These crazy, like, antenna hairs here. So we know he's a Diaprioid because he's got this forehead shelf. He's got these crazy hairs on each of his antennas. And only the males have it. And there's one genera which has it. So I actually know this guy to genera, I think. Bearing in mind that, like, maybe there's another one that I don't know that also has the hairs. But as far as I can tell, he's in the genera that is called Trichopria. But we don't have to worry about that yet. We're just going to Diaprioidae, and we're going to go to Diaprioidae. So I'll fill this in with blue. And when I get to family, I'm moving them to a different PowerPoint because I don't want my PowerPoints to get individually, like, so massive that they crash when I try to open them. And I've got a lot of photos. So we're going to move them into the Diaprioidae PowerPoint. Doot. You won't be able to see it because I haven't set up the screen share, but trust me when I say he's on the Diaprioid PowerPoint. And if we need to ID him further, we can. Cool. And so, with that out of the way, we can say that this guy is Diaprioid. Not Diaprioid like the other one. It's almost indistinguishable, but technically distinguishable. This guy's Diaprioidae. And this is our team. What a powerful collection of individuals. For the next one, we might have to get another photo because I've kind of psyched myself out with that Calcid. I'm like, oh, I'm pretty sure it's a Calcid, but what if it isn't? Do I want to get another one? Yeah, let's get another one. We can fish here. There's no, like, gift Pokemon in this town, right? Or maybe I should wait till I get a better fishing rod. I don't really need a water type. Yeah, I should wait till I get a better fishing rod. Okay, so there's one more route I can get. Shall I get it? Yeah. Oh, I'd have to fight the rich trainer. And I don't know if I'm quite of that psychological bent yet. Let's clear out this route first. Oh, and then I also need to put a Zuril sprite in the Diaprioidae PowerPoint, don't I? Where's the Zuril's sprite? It's here. Folder management. Yeah, this is a stream of folder management, which I know everyone loves to watch. It's one of the most compelling formats, folder management. Most streams, you know, they do their folder management off camera. Not me. No, I'm all about managing folders live on air. 101,000 observations. Wait. His pick? His... Oh. How do you mean? Oh, yeah, my God. Look at this. 101,000 observations. So... Area is determined... Oh, here. Yes, of course. Where did it go? Like that, do you mean? Like back here? Oh, I see. One moment. Where did that go? Oh, right. Here. Yeah. I can zoom right in for you. Oh, no, I don't think so. Oh, you mean the calcid? I didn't ID the calcid. I was going to ID the calcid, but I didn't. I was too scared. Wait, is that the one? Or was there a third phantom one? I think I've only done 2, but I was looking at others, on the where did I put the calcid? Here, this guy, maybe. Yeah. There have been 2 wasps, and I've switched between them. Every photo is an individual wasp. He's got no leg hairs. It's true. He's naked. This is a pretty bad focus on this photo. Sorry about that. This guy is really tiny. The other guy is decently big, but this guy is absolutely tiny. It's on maximum magnification, and he's just the smallest little fellow. Yeah, but I'm leaving him in the Proctotropomorphs because I'm too scared. I'm too scared to take him any further. I'll put that here. Procto. Yeah, crane my head. Procto. There we go. Yeah, so there's 2 wasps, and this guy I'm now saying is diaperia day, and he gets to be blue because my color coding, that's where he qualifies to be. Okay, and with all that said and done, we can do the battle. I'll do a 3rd wasp next and show you some of the other crazy ones. Oh man, there are these guys called mimetids, which well, you'll see. They've got crazy wings. They're easy to ID. They're calcids, so I can get calcidoidea from them, actually. Shroomish. How do I beat Shroomish? What does it do? Do I layer it and then switch? Let's do that. Oh, it's weak. We'll just tackle it. Okay, crits for 5. I cannot. We kill it. And Proctotrup powers up to the maximum power of Proctotropomorph town. Diaperia day. This Azurill is going to be real weak. Because Azurill sucks. Is it a happiness evolution? How does Azurill evolve? Azurill. Level 18. No. It is friendship. I see. There's a... Okay, you know what we should do then? We should... not use it for now. Because I believe there's a Soothe Bell we can get. Thank you. Yeah, no, it turns out I can just kind of ramble. The second challenge is cutting out the stuttering and the like random extra bits. But yeah, no, it's not too bad. It's quite chill. We're just going for it. And you need a lull occasionally to really cement the power of your words when you do speak them. So everyone does start somewhere. Okay. It's funny how like all of this generation of streamers are like idolizing Northern Lion. I feel like when I watch like, you know, YouTube content creators who are my age, they're all like, yeah, I grew up watching Northern Lion and that's why I chose this career, because he's such an icon. I mean, who can blame him? They're quite right. Oh, this guy has a Shroomsh, I believe. No, he's got a Litleo. Ha! I win. I beat this. I have Bubble. That's true. Yeah, he can just bask in chat. Well, I've got at least one viewer right now who can keep me speaking, and you know I have a lot of just random things to say about Wasps. I think the format has some definite strengths and some definite disadvantages. I'm a Zorro right now, right? I'm not actually a Shinx. This is going to get confusing because Proctotroop is not a very conducive name. Proctotroop, you're a Zorro. No, what? Oh, no. Okay, Zorro's name changes too, so Apocryta becomes Proctotroop when he's shapeshifted. That's confusing. Zorro's ability is going to... See, that's a good power to use in real live battles to confuse your enemies. But I'm fighting AI trainers, so it's only going to confuse me, which is wonderful. But the AI will never know. I guess he's pretty good if they have like a psychic type Pokemon, they'll get confused. Yeah, so you can just keep a stream of consciousness up just by like speaking words. Oh man, speaking of words, well, I don't know, that seems like a powerful segue to me. On the speaking of words, and then I transition to something that has no idea at all, has no similarity to words at all. My real pivot was going to be, did you know that there's a bargain on, you can go to a BP store, any BP, and if you buy 2 Fruju's, you'll get some Fruju pins to put on your Crocs, or if you buy 2 LMPs, you'll get a LMP branded hat. It's phenomenal. If you don't live in New Zealand and you've never tried the hit drink Lemon and Pyroa, then you're missing out on a huge amount of stuff. Yeah, I know. Caitlin has both. Caitlin went for it. She was like, I want the LMP hat and I want the Croc stickers. And then she made me wear it and walk into the house, and everyone was like, oh my god, Henry, you look so amazing. I've never seen a greater hat than the LMP branded hat. I know, she's been totally suckered by capitalism. She's been played for all she's worth, and now she's walking around sponsored by LMP. But at the same time, you know, Coca-Cola is a small indie game company, and they need all the help they can get. Am I afraid of you, trainer? Kind of feel like I am. And also, there's going to be like a boss up ahead. Well, we're doing it. Okay. Intimidate's good. Is this thing going to click frustration and ruin my entire day? It's a risk, but what's the solution? Do I have a... go into Diaprioid? Maybe it doesn't have frustration? Maybe I just try to kill it? Okay, it's defense curling, that's fine. Okay, it's pounding. Okay, so it did 10, so it crits for 15. Yeah, LMP is owned by Coke. It's a shame because you kind of wish it weren't. You wish you were like supporting a local business, but nah, it's just Coke as always. But you can't avoid it, and at least you're like when you're baby doll eyes. You don't say. Better than Leia. It's Coke all the way down in the end. At least you're giving some good advertising time to Pyro, the country. The country? The small town as well. Okay. Can we heal? Yes. Okay. We're gonna get a new Pokemon. This will be the last Pokemon for this kind of early game segment. And it's gonna be a Pidgey. Okay. I support Pidgey. Pidgey's interesting because it gets a Mega Evolution. And Mega Evolutions are pretty good if we can get them early enough. We won't kill with this, because we're Shinx. Sand Attack's not bad either. Okay, I'm happy with a Pidgey. Focus Sash. Focus Sash sounds good. Yeah, they do have the big bottle. It's nice that all of our small towns have, like, mascots. My brother and Caitlin were both making fun of me for how I say mascot. It's mascot, right? But like now I just doubt myself and I switch to the other one every time. Like my ego was shattered because they were like, "Why do you say mascot so weirdly?" And I was like, "I don't know, man. It's mascot." Yeah, well, look, that's what I'm told. That's what I'm told by everyone, that it's freakish and weird. And then one time I accidentally called, well, not accidentally, I called bourbon bourbon. I was like, look, they've got some bourbon. And my girlfriend was like, sorry, did you say bourbon? And I was like, yeah, bourbon. Why? She was like, I don't think that's how you say bourbon. And I was like, well, that's true. Don't tell anyone. Oh, Pod. Jonathan Pod's here. Pod, do you want to see Jonathan? You want to see Jonathan? Do you want to go on camera for the audience? You're like the stream cat, right? Northern Lion talks to his cats all the time, so that's an important feature. Oh, some wasps. He's down here. Pod, hey, can I grab you? Oh, he's being real lazy. Pod. Hey. How am I going to get you up? Oh, disturbing you too much. Aw. Pod. What I want to do is scoop up with you. Look at this. Here he is. He's on a box. Oh, he's slowly slipping. Oh. Sorry, buddy. That was a bit mean. But there he was. That was Pod. A mascot. He is. I know, what a specimen. He doesn't want to be picked up. He wants to be asleep. But that was. Yeah, yeah, that's right. In the flesh, over camera. One day you'll meet him for real. But who knows? Who knows when that will be? We've got to identify a wasp in the digital flesh. That's right. So, let's grab the. Which one is it? Wasp slides. Here we go. And I want to look at one of the funny mimetids. So, where's a good mimetid? What are we doing? We're doing NR1, right? Were there any mimetids in Trap NR1? No, there were not. Where were they? EL1? Okay, we're going to do EL1009. So it's east, left, 6, 7, 8, 9. This one here. We're going to do, I'll make it red. Get rid of the word Cribronidae from inside. Okay, and here is the photo. Look at this creature. Look at this. Isn't this like terrifying, but also really cool? So they have these crazy wings that are like spoons, and they come up like this. Zoom in. You can see the wasp body there. They've got these massive legs that hang down, massive antenna, and then these crazy wings. And they actually have little tiny second wings. So one of the things that sets flies apart from other animals is that they only have 2 wings. They have 2 wings and then 2 little nub wings. So usually it's quite easy to tell flies and wasps apart, even when they're both microscopic, because of the number of wings. But the mimetids only have 2 wings like a fly. Still very easy to tell them apart from wasps. I mean, they're very distinct looking. But they're not flies, but they only have 2 proper wings. These are like little wing nubs in here. Now, I don't know what kind of mimetid this is. I don't know anything at all about them beyond the subfamily. But I do know where the subfamily lives. I can't even pull it up on... Where does it do that? Will this work? Yes, on iNaturalist. The mymettidae. Nay. Mymettidae. No? My met. Is that not a real thing? That's a real thing, right? The mimetids? Watch my taxonomy unravel. Okay, what the heck? Where did they go? Mymetid wasp. We're doing some Googling. We're gonna get to the bottom. My married. That's why we get it wrong. I was saying the wrong name. Because the reason I was saying the wrong name is because there is another group entirely within the wasps over here called the Hymenoptera. And the Hymenoptera are what I thought mimarids were for ages. I was like, oh yeah, because they're so distinct, right? They surely get their own group. I was like, they're the Hymenoptera, so there's a T in there. But these guys are the false fairy flies. So the mimarids are the fairy flies. These guys are the false fairy flies. They're like false crabs. They look like fairy flies, but they're not actually fairy flies. The real fairy flies go into the chalcidoids as the mimarids. Now, they're a family, yes? No. What? Chalcidoidea? Family? Mimaridae. Here we are. Here are the fairy wasps. I've done it. I can go back and... How small are they? They're really tiny. They're anywhere from 1 millimeter to like 5 millimeters. Some of the biggest ones you'll be able to see with your hand. They'd be like yay big, like the size of a normal wasp. But the ones that we're looking at now they look like little specks of dust to the eye. You can see them, like you can make out the shape of the mimarids in a petri dish if you know what you're looking for, but they're very, very tiny. If he's a parasitoid, isn't he supposed to have a stinger? Yes. So only the females have stingers. So it could be a male, but a lot of these tiny ones have retractable stingers, so they'll have a stinger, but it'll be inside the body, which is unhelpful for diagnosis. Why is that blacked out? What the heck? Did I close? No? Oh, who knows? It's unhelpful for diagnosis to have your like distinct traits inside your body because you have to be dissected to figure it out. And that's just how it goes with some of these wasps. The genitalia is really useful taxonomically. You can tell a lot from wasp genitals, but it's really annoying to do that because you have to take the wasp apart to get at the genitals. So where possible, like I'm not going to be able to do genital deconstructions on these things. As much as I would love to do genital deconstructions on stream, I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to get away with it today because I only have photos. But yeah, the stingers sometimes will be visible, sometimes won't be. And we need like a. It would be nice to have like a scale model of like a bumblebee that was like this big, and then a little wasp that was this big. That's probably about right. If the bumblebee was like that big, the little wasp would be like that big. I think that's about the size comparison. Well, yeah, that's right. Like that's as you say, Jonathan. That's the kind of things that you really are analyzing in the lab. But don't have access. And yeah, they're so small that they are. It's like how when you shine light through your finger, and the finger will like turn red. These guys are so small that. Where did I actually put the fairy fly? Here. These guys are so small that when you shine a backlight through them, you can just see right through them, and that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, so these are all lit from behind, because if I light them from the top, that you get this horrible glare. Even this photo is kind of bad, because you can see the ethanol I'm using is really, really thin, and you can see that his leg here is hitting the surface tension and making this kind of deformation in the photo, which I don't like. Well, it's bad for the computer model, because the model will think that's part of the wasp and start looking for the knees of the Mymarid as like a key feature. But no, we take what we can get when we're doing wasp diagnosis, and right now we just have photos. But photos are enough because he's a chalcid, so we can take him on through. Definitely a hymenoptera. Going through the Apocrita, very good. He's still a proctotrophomorph, that's all we've found. Here's our friend, the chalcid that we were too scared to identify. Why is my crocking so weird? And then we get to go to this chalcid. And this guy, this new guy, is a chalcid that I'm not scared to identify because the fairy flies are so distinct. So, cool. We probably have to make a whole new slide for the chalcids, given that this is my first one. And given that a key part of the stream is slide management. So this can be the Chalcidoidea. And it's Chalcidoidea. And Chalcidoidea has by far the most families of any group of the wasps. If we come to the whole wasp table, each of these white ones is a family. Most of them have like 5 on average, if they're lucky, like 2 to 5. And then the chalcids have 41. The actual number of families in the chalcids is like highly unstable because their taxonomy is not that well figured out. So this number of families can change quite rapidly, and different papers will give slightly different numbers of families and lump different guys in different ways. But we're going to say there's about 41. Well, there's more than 41, but there's 41 that there's any chance at all that we ever see. There'll be more really weird, obscure ones in other parts of the world, but I'm not worried about finding any of those. This all goes to say that this guy is a chalcidoid, and for diagnosis, what do I know about chalcidoid diagnosis? They often have a metallic coloration. My marids have funny wings. That's an important feature. And they... No head shelf. They... Why do I want to say they're kind of like softer looking? That's not very scientific though. That's just my like pattern recognition brain. Anyway, here's our chalcidoids. 42 children. I don't have to list them all, but I will list the ones that I find. So, we get to name our Pidgey. Yay, we get to name our Pidgey. The half-life of medical knowledge, 7 years. What's the half-life of wasp knowledge? Well, much longer than 7 years, let me tell you, because, you know, we don't have the turnover, the output of the medical field. I would say 50 years, maybe longer. For example, these guys, these Mimarids, I think were established as a group in the early 1900s, and they're still a group. So there hasn't been like a... They're still the same. There can be lots of quibbles at the edges. So, like those chalcid families, if it's really unstable, you will see a high turnover. And it's often in the really tiny ones that we didn't know about until recently, where there's still a lot of like, new knowledge coming out. But for something like some really well-established thing, like say an ichneumon, wasp, the ichneumonids as a group were named by Aristotle in ye olden times, ye really olden times. Back in ancient Greece, ichneumon means hunter or seeker in Greek, and so the ichneumons are the ichneumonidae, and they're basically just still the ichneumons. Like the ichneumons are really well defined. We know if something's an ichneumon or not. There's lots of fighting in the ichneumons at the lower ranks, like within the ichneumons. But as a clade, an ichneumon is an ichneumon. We're very confident about it. It's probably not ever going to change. And yeah, that's Aristotle's doing. So, that's been what, 2,000 years, give or take. Yeah. But there is still turnover in the more disputed or like crazy things, and it's going to depend a lot on like how accurate morphology is, like the physical structures, at giving you the taxonomy. So for ichneumons, it happens that it's really reliable, but for stick insects, it turns out that morphology is totally unreliable as a key, like a way of determining how related they are to each other. Because, of course, stick insects change to look like the plants they're on. So stick insects, their morphology might tell you about the plants that live in their area, but it's not going to tell you about their, like, historical relatedness. So if you imagine, like, there's an island and 10 totally unrelated stick insects move on to the island, and the island has one kind of tree, all of those 10 stick insects are going to evolve to look like the branches of that tree. And then when you do morphological analysis, you're going to get them as like a group, right? Because they all look exactly the same. But it turns out that they're totally unrelated. So, and they can't interbreed, and it's been hundreds of thousands of years since they ever interbred. And so stick insect taxonomy, since we've got the ability to sequence genes, has just become like a total nightmare. Like if you're working stick insect taxonomy, you're having to like redo the entire thing from the ground up, because it turns out that like morphology is just useless. Oh man, I know. Imagine if like, I'm feeling a bit sanguine today, and they're like, oh, come, I'll do some expression of your blood, and then that'll make you feel great. But I'm feeling pretty sanguine at the moment. I'm not feeling melancholy or whatever the other two humours, the other two ones were. And that's because I'm having a day off work, and I'm like I'm doing my work by playing Pokemon, which is how I always intended to. You've got exactly the right amounts of both kinds of bile. That's iconic. That's amazing. I mean, we can only. It's all we can really ask for in life to have to have the perfect frequencies of biles. You won't have to see any kind of plague doctor or pus expressor or anything. You've got, what are the biles? Black bile and green bile, and yellow pus and red blood. I'm not a you know, 2nd century BCE type medical professional. I got my biology degree too late. This guy's chalcidoid, right? Yeah, this is chalcidoid. The ways in which a Pidgey is similar to a Chalcid. Well, they both have wings, which is quite important, and they both kind of have feathery wings. Like for a wasp, if there's any wasp that has feathery adjacent wings, it's definitely got to be one of these mimetids. I mean, look at those wings, right? Like it's basically a bird. Like you could tell me that's a bird, and I would say, yeah, that's a pigeon. I know my pigeons, and that's definitely a pigeon. They both have legs, which is quite impressive. As you can see on this Pidgey, it's got those good kickers on it, and my Marid also has some exceptional kickers. They are both quadruple weak to rock type moves, which is well, they're both weak to rock type moves, but the Marid, being a bug flying type, is quadruple weak. So you kind of have to run heavy duty boots on the Marid. Otherwise it'll switch into Stealth Rocks and take 49% of its health, and you're already running a Marid in Pokemon OU. Like, you don't want to take that much damage from Stealth Rock. Ooh, modest Pidgey. I like that. And 31 special attack and speed. And we got no guard. I like this Pidgey a lot. This Pidgey looks good. Should probably check out my other guys. Plus special attack minus Spadef. It's kind of gross. Yeah, I'm not sold on Timpole, but it's okay. This guy did okay. The special attack EVs are terrible, but I mean IVs are terrible, but we cope. We can see we're getting a few EVs, but I haven't tried to EV grind for anything. And then what are you? Neutral nature and 31 special attack speed. Pretty squishy. It's a bit scary. Proctor Troop. Adamant. Okay, I like Adamant. Okay. Really bad attack. Really bad HP and defense. Yeah, it is like they took 2 peacock feathers and stuck them on an ant. What you'll see is that some of these wasps look like ants, or rather, ants are a kind of wasp that do look a lot like other wasps. But yeah, the Mimarids are particularly ant-like because they have that curve down and then the up of the metasoma, like an ant has. Yeah, ants are a kind of wasp. Ants are included in this grouping, in fact. So if we can find ants are a part of a Wasplocke. We'll have to ID ants. I know, it's crazy, right? I can show you. If we come to the wasp slides over here, and we go to the families, what you'll see is within the Aculeata, we have the Formicoidea, the Formics, which are the ants, and then there's one single family within the Formicoidea, which is the Formicidae, and the Formicidae contains all the ants. So the Aculeata are the stinging wasps, so they've replaced their ovipositor with a sting. You'll see some guys so the Apoidea is the bees, the Vespoidea is the big wasps that you'll know, and the Formicoidea are the ants, and they're all in here. So, and in fact, I do have some of these photos, in fact, quite a few of these photos from the site are of ants. You're a Calcid. So, yeah, ants are involved. It's a bit counterintuitive at first, because ants seem like their own thing. They seem kind of special. But I think it's just that, like, when you do that kind of crazy sociality, you start to get recognized as your own different group. Same as, termites. Termites. They're actually part of the cockroaches. Yeah, they only get one family, I know. And there's such diversity. But in fact, what happens is that the different taxonomists kind of choose different levels at which to diversify. So the Chalcidoid people have chosen family as their, like, level at which they're going to, like, do a bunch of splitting up. But the ant people have done subfamilies. There's one family, but like 1,000 subfamilies. And so if we find an ant, we're only going to get two Pokemon out of it from here. But then we can get heaps potentially if we find more ants. The problem is, I know almost nothing about how to ID ants. Ants are confusing. But if we find, like, common ones, then we can use iNaturalist to ID them. It's kind of a multimedia approach to identification. Like, whatever works, works, and I'm just here to get that name on the page. So we've got our team. Now, this is probably going to be our team for a while. Do you have any interesting items? I should give berries to everybody. If I have any left. Berries. Oran berry. Let's give everyone a pitcher berry for now. There's a boss fight in the forest, so I kind of want to just train up a bit to prepare for it, so that I don't, like, lose all of my Pokemon instantly. Okay. Is there anything I have to get from back here? Not really, right? I can just stroll on along. I'm just gonna go back and double check that I've, like, exhumed this area of all of its substance and content. That guy synced right into the grass. I haven't. Look, a bug enemy. Wait, I kind of hate that, actually. My team is kind of weakened to bug. No, my team's not weakened to bug anymore. I have a bird. My bird is poisoned. Ha! But I had a pitcher berry. Okay, my bird doesn't have a bird type move. That's gonna come back to bite me. I would like my birds to learn bird. You can't see anything. Oh no. Oh no, thank you, chat, for spamming. I was totally in the zone. There you go. Oh, my bird's poisoned again. This time I do have to switch. Okay, well, this is going to get a bit annoying. I was a Zora all along. Yeah, so we're just gonna chill and do some ID. I don't know. Oh, we're okay. This guy, Apocrita, is weak to bug, and that's a bug. But does it get a bug move? I'm gonna hope not. We'll go to Proctotroop. Yeah, we'll go to Proctotroop and slowly whittle it down with bad moves. No, we're not too bad. We're adamant, so Thundershock is just terrible because minus special attack. It's important to remember. How strong do we have to get? I wonder... Oh, yep, we've got someone poisoned. I understand. That's what pitch berries are for. I wonder if we can evolve anyone. I wonder if Shinx evolves at level 15. So the gym level cap is 15. We can't go higher than 15. So I could just level everyone up to 15 right now. And that's probably sensible. but it'll be a bit boring. It'll be a bit boring to watch. I could do some grinding off stream. I wonder if off stream grinding is like bad practice. It probably isn't, because I trust myself, and given that I'm not particularly expecting this format to have like, yeah. So one of the features of this particular fan game is that it'll just stop you getting any XP when you hit level 15, and you'll just get stuck there. So we won't be able to go up more. The trainers also scale to your level. You're okay. I'm quite happy just talking into the void. I suspect that's mostly what this will be, but it's quite good. Like it's a good format because I feel like I'm getting the wasps into my mind without like it feeling like work. Like it feels like I'm playing a game, and yet I'm kind of thinking about my work and building my slides and IDing my photos. So even if I have no viewers, I think it's powerful, and yeah. But it's good to talk to you even through chat. I'm so useless at like actually messaging people. You're the only. Should I dox? No, I won't. I won't say that over this because I don't want to dox anybody. Don't mind that, audience. That's a message I can send Jonathan later. Yeah, we'll kill some sloths in the forest. It's always good to do a little bit of ecological pruning. Yeah, I know the channel is kind of popping off, right? These short videos are quite good, I think. They're quite fun to make, and I've been making them when I get home. And I've been doing, because I've got this. Oh, do you think I'm going to get 100 subs? I'm pretty close, aren't I? What do you think? What do people do for 100 subs? I could do a 100 sub extravaganza. I could play anything. I could do. People often do like answering fan questions, but I know the BKC clickbait, right? It did do its job, but also like shout out to BKC because he's the real hero, and my personal he's my personal hero, and he would weep. He did weep, because Tyranitar, the once king, has fallen into a state of barely viable disrepair, and it is quite sad. Yeah, but these last two, the interesting thing with the videos is that you can somewhat predict how well they'll do based on like the coolness of the Pokemon. So like Sizzle, Dragonite, and Tyranitar are like the highest viewed ones because those are all like the cool Pokemon. And then we've had a run of like kind of lame ones like Pelipper and Torkoal have been the last two, and they're both like great, a turtle and a bird. And also their team styles are like really obvious, so the actual content of the video is kind of unnecessary. It's just like, wow, it's gonna make it rain, so get all the Pokemon that have a power that makes it rain. So I'm going through in release order. I'm doing chronological order of all the ones that are like usable in the tier. So we're on to Gen 3, and that's like this game that I'm playing now is Gen 3. This is where you'd normally catch Pelipper, in fact, in this grass right here. But all of the like exciting new Pokemon are at the end because Gen 9 has, there's power creep. So there aren't that many old Pokemon that are good, and all the ones that are good are either like the crazy powerful ones like the legendaries and Dragonite and Tyranitar, or the ones that are like objectively terrible on their own but have powers that are really synergistic. So Pelipper and Torkoal and Ninetales all make weather, which is nice, and that's why they're. Yeah, I think it is kind of nice. I mean, I like. This is kind of an interesting experiment, and you can't have every video be like a special feature, they can't all be. Yeah, well, exactly. Like the Venusaur video, the audio quality is like really terrible because I had the audio all messed up. And then the first few videos, I have these really ugly bold lines on all of the text, and it's gross. But I've worked it out over time, and I'm still making some changes. There was a comment that was like, "Why not add a little bit about Terra types?" And I was like, I should do that. So I've been doing that for the last few, and I think that's good. Yeah. So once I reach like the Gen 9 Pokemon, there are 82 Pokemon, and I'm doing one every other day. So it'll take me half a year to get through them all. But that's not so bad. I'll be done by June. And they're pretty quick to make. And it's kind of a culmination of a bunch of like random projects I have done. Like I've got this Python script. So I'm running this to get the like teammates. I'm running this Python script, which I can run, and it is like processing the stats and gives me the percentages and stuff. This is behind the veil. The OU roster. So when the game was new, there were DLCs, and the OU roster, and sometimes Pokemon would get like added. So there were updates, but the game is like done, so there are no more updates. However, the roster can still change based on like metagame developments. So if someone discovers that a Pokemon is like better than they thought, or some Pokemon like falls off and everyone's like, actually this thing sucks, then the Pokemon can change. Like they'll go up and down in tier. But we're not getting any more Pokemon until the next Pokemon game comes out, and that will be a completely different experience because it's percent usage based. With the caveat, this battle's a bit scary. I should pay attention. With the caveat that Kakuna, okay. I'm gonna baby-dollize you. That's fine. Okay, and go into. I'm gonna stay in. Sorry, I'm entering gamer mode. I'm entering gamer mode because the battle's getting scary. Don't have like a Scyther. If he has a Scyther, I'm actually screwed. Someone's gonna die. Okay, Cascoon. That's probably fine. I can baby-dollize that. Hey, can I get poisoned? Okay, we're fine. Oh, it's like, my god, why did I send Chikorita in? It's not a Chikorita, it's a Zorua. Some of the Pokemon I'm reviewing aren't OU by usage. They're just, like, usable in the tier. So there's only about 40 that are OU by usage, and then there are some that are, like, not used enough, but are still viable. I'm reviewing those two. I'm going off the, like, viability tier list. That's like it's on the Pokemon forums, and it is like a sort of crowd-ish sourced. Do Pokemon die from poisoning in this game? Should we find out? I guess so. I don't really have a... I don't think they do. I reckon they'll survive on 1 health. I think we're fine. But I may as well test it. Okay, good. I could have just lost my Zara there from being a fool, but I didn't. So I'm just going off like pure tier list viability, and it's not my tier list that I'm doing. I'm just kind of like reporting on the data. But there are still a lot of changes. Like Ninetales, for example, was like D rank bad until very recently, but it's recently risen up to B+ and pushed Torkoal down to B-. So there are still shifts, and there are going to be more shifts. There are like 10-year-old generations that are still having some Pokemon like rise up or drop down, but it does start to peter off around now in the cycle till we get the next game, which will be interesting. It's hard to imagine what Pokemon's like without all these Paradox Pokemon and Booster Energy. OU's the most popular tier because, well, the answer to that is yes, with two caveats. The first being, there's an official format, right? Like this is like a fan format. There's an official format where you can go to the Pokemon World Championships and such. But those are double battles. So you use two Pokemon, they use two Pokemon. And classically, they're played on the actual cartridge. Pod. Yeah, hi. Look. Yeah. Say hi to Jonathan. Here's Pod. There he is. Yeah. And that is arguably as popular as OU. And then the second caveat is that the actually most played format on Showdown is random battles, where you just get given a random team and thrown into battle. That's the most played format, which is, random battles are pretty fun. It's harder to make, guides about how to build your Pokemon in random battles because you don't build them, you just get assigned them. But they're like the chill, casual. Why is it only official tier doubles? The main reason is watchability, because singles games have this skewed distribution of time limits, where most games end within 20 to 30 turns. Some games end less, right? You're going up. You're looking like a bell curve. But then there's this slow flattening out into the hundreds of turns, where some games will just go on so long. And if you're trying to run a marketable product, the downside of losing your single battle, the downside of making the game different to the one you play when you play, is compensated for the fact that you don't have these unwatchable, really long, horrid games, which are fun as a player because you get to make decisions, but horrible as a viewer because you're just watching people switch around for 2 hours or whatever. Ooh, my voice is starting to go. I may have to I may have to back off. The other problem is that when you play on cart, you have to watch all the animations. I'm playing this on 3 times speed for the most part. I'm just holding down the fast forward button, and it still feels like I usually play on faster speed, but for the viewer's experience, it would get bad. But when you have to watch every animation on chip, it would just takes forever. So whereas double battles are so fast paced, the Bazaar, that's Reynad's game, right? Reynad of Hearthstone fame. I have seen of it, but I don't know it personally. I haven't played it, but I want to. It seems cool. I do like that kind. It's like somewhat like Teamfight Tactics or Super Auto Pets, right? It's like an auto battler crossed with a card game. Yeah, a deck building auto battler. I mean, that does sound like my kind of game. All of these deck building roguelites that Northern Lion plays, I could spend my life playing as well, except I don't buy them. But the moment I buy them, at the moment I bought Slay the Spire, I put 200 hours into it because that game is great. Mudshot is 55 base power. Acid. This is my first moveset decision. I think I want Mudshot over... Ah, I see. Yeah, that they could do a kind of game end mechanic. Do you remember when Northern Lion was playing speedrunners back in the ancient times and the walls start to close in? Yeah, that sounds good. I want to do D&D. I'll say this without doxing myself, but I want to do D&D. This was NLSS 2015. Yeah, we're gonna make the game end, like it or not. I want to do D&D, but I think I want to, rather than like trying to fake 5e, you know, and do, yeah, exactly. Oh man, Ultimate Chicken Horse. That's a game. I'll go to record voice. Might be a mistake. You can spam record voice and save. I think rather than like trying to bend 5e to my whims, I might just like make my own system. You know. Yeah, exactly. And because what I've been thinking is that one thing that's really annoying about 5e is having to have a battle mat. I like tactical combat on a 2D grid. I like that plenty. But the practical element of having to have a table and like move minis around and do this is really annoying. And although it's like an amazing dream to have like a bespoke, see, I'm really trying to be NL, I'm saying bespoke, a bespoke playmat that represents the field. Like, that is amazing if you can do it. It never happens. What ends up happening is you end up scribbling on a whiteboard and make something ugly. So what I want to do is get rid of the movement part of combat and do a kind of simplified, like, Slay the Spire type combat, and then just have a map that shows your general location. And I can build like a simplified Slay the Spire type combat. It won't be nearly as complex as, or like as kind of in-depth as 5e, but I don't think speeding up the 5e combat loop would necessarily be a bad thing. And also people just spend most of their time in 5e clicking cantrips or just attacking anyway. You might think there's something that exists, but and there probably is, but I wonder if it would, like, I'd have to learn that. I feel like I've played enough of these games to like know how to do it at a basic level, and I can just kind of start simple and then slowly build. Whereas, like, you know, I've tried to like look at GURPS and look at these different things, and it's like, oh, there's like a 700-page rulebook. And when I read other people's like simplified systems, I'm like, yeah, okay. Like the moment I can like comprehend it in half an hour, I think I could make it in 3 hours. And so I might just try to make something. Obviously, this means that like it'll never happen, but D&D never happens anyway. So what's a little more not happening to add to the not happening wound? I think I might make like a little flyer. Hubris. Yeah, tis the flaw of all of humanity, and I am no exception. It is very true. I'm sure that, you know, the fact that this VOD is going to be saved for perpetuity will haunt me, because everyone will be able to say, look, Henry, remember that time on the 16th of January 2025 when you said you were going to make your own D&D system and you thought you could do it in 3 hours? Remember that? And I'll look up like sunken-eyed and I'll say, I remember. I remember those days back then. Oh, the naivete of youth. Anyway, I'm in my naive phase of the D&D cycle. But I might make a little flyer and then send it to people that'll be like, hey, do you want to play D&D? It's all good if you don't want to, but if you want to, come play. Yeah, I respect a bit of just like, we'll just go with the chaos and let it seep through us, because I don't know, I'm sick of the kind of D&D where it's like we gotta not have fun, you know. I mean, I'm all for the tonal game, but what I'm not for is like the rules lawyer game. And plus 5e is just like boring at this point. Not to like besmirch 5e. I don't hate 5e, but like I kind of want to. The other benefit is that like I want to break you guys. Well, not you in particular, but I want to like. Yeah, I still like 5e too. 5e is nice. It's like comfort food, right? Like, and we know all the rules, and it's very easy to just pick up and play. There's a lot of stuff we haven't explored. Like I've spent like a cumulative 3 hours of my life above level 10. But That's the way it goes sometimes. I want to have a game where you guys have to read. I don't want to make you guys read too many rules, but where you guys don't know like the builds and stuff, and there are new. Just like having like new novel classes. Not like I'm going to reinvent it from the ground up, but like you're a wizard, but like it's a bit different this time, or you're a druid, but like it's a bit different this time. So that there's some so you don't know the metagame, and so you can kind of try things out without knowing that they're good or bad, because that's the thing with 5e is that you just end up like going to RPG bot and clicking what's the best cleric subclass. Well, I don't always do that, but it's very tempting and very easy. And it just kind of osmoses into your mind all this knowledge. Like, I know that Berserker Barbarian's kind of bad, or Ranger's kind of bad. And I can't help that I know that any longer. Exactly. You have to figure out Warlock Eldritch Blast. The other fun thing about making my system is that I definitely won't be as good at like avoiding exploitation things as actual game designers, right? I don't have like playtesters, so I have my players, I guess, but it means that there will definitely be things you can do that are really, really busted. But I kind of like that. Like, I think it's fun as a player to be able to like think, wait, hang on, isn't that crazy? Yeah, but I was kind of thinking to do it a bit kind of deck buildery, where like instead of like having a set of actions, you have cards, and every turn, and when you level up, you get like your choice of 3 new cards to add to your deck, and then each round you draw some. What's Peasant Railgun? Ah, is this where you pass the thing from peasant to peasant, and then the object gets like accelerated to like a fraction of the speed of light? I remember this. Is that what we're talking? I was like, is there a game called Peasant Railgun? But okay, yeah, I got it. No, yeah, I see. I feel like some DMs that I've played with get a bit annoyed when the players start doing something broken, and they're like, "Oh, we got to ban this," or like, "We can't have that." But I reckon like make it a feature of the world that like the Peasant Railgun exists, and then you can use it too, and let the technological ecology advance to whatever end state you want. But I was thinking like Slay the Spire style. You start with a deck of cards, and each round you draw a few, and as you level up, maybe you draw more, and you get more action points or whatever. Very Slay the Spire. But then if you find magic items, you can put them into your deck, and then you might draw them. And if you find cool class features, you can put them in. And then this way, each round, the other reason I want to do this is because each round you draw 3, and maybe you choose one, or you can play all 3. You have a tactical decision that's like different each round, but you don't have like 6,000 possible options, so that the game's going to slow down. Like there are only like 6 or 7 different things you can do, but it's genuinely interesting which one of those you decide to do. That's the goal. The only Oh, yeah, I remember that. I forgot about that. I've only vaguely remembered that game, but I do remember it. Yeah. Oh, those situations are so hard in the moment though. Like because you have these like competing instincts, and yeah. But I hear you. Like it's very easy to just let the players have it and then cut them down. Yeah, the Minesweeper thing was fun. That was a good boss fight. It was nice to actually have like an ending to a dungeon with a fight and such. That was the same one where you 3D printed out those like shapes, and then we had to like do the shape puzzle. That was cool. That was a respectable game. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's wonderful. I love like I like the like we're not trying to make the puzzle like make sense in universe. We're just like making a fun puzzle because it's more fun to have like an actual mini game to do in real life than it is to have a mini game for your characters to do while you roll dice and watch. Yeah. So anyway, I want to try this D&D. The only problem with the idea of the Slay the Spire system is that it might get cumbersome to like have to physically shuffle your deck all the time, whereas in virtual reality it's very very quick. We'll see. But I'm gonna make a flyer and just send it out to like everyone I know, and see what kind of interest I get. It's hard to tell. Like I might have lots of people who want to play. I might have none, because I don't keep up with my friends, except through streaming. So we'll see. But advance warning, I suppose. And also I will. I'm gonna try to make this system. Yeah, I think I will. I think like the classic crowd. I'm interested in like the more peripheral people and like the university people. I mean, I know people from uni who play D&D, but oh, I'm glad I left a good impression on Janelle. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, no, I think there's people who play. Anyway, my voice is starting to go. I've got like a sore throat, so I should probably stop speaking. So I'm gonna go for now. And also, I've stopped playing Pokemon. I've just been yapping, as the kids say. But we've made some good progress in Pokemon. We've got a whole team, well, almost a whole team, and we're ready for the next phase. Okay, well, enjoy dinner, and I'll thank you. My my viewership is going to be wonderful when everyone gets their head around what a parasitoid wasp is. Bye. See ya. Go raid someone. That's what you say, right? What all you viewers, go raid Jonathan's dinner. That's where you want to be. Goodbye.